What's up, guys? Chris Bowen here with Level Up the Podcast. I am joined today by Tyler McFarlin of 918 Services. Tyler, why don't you introduce yourself, man?
Hello, I'm Tyler with 918 Property Services. We're a small business based out of Aubrey, North Dallas area. We specialize in pool builder services, swimming pool builder services.
Yeah, so what all does that entail? Are you guys doing project management, site cleanups? What does that all entail?
Yeah, so it's been described a few different ways. My favorite is we've been called the Swiss Army knife. I have guys that do specialty small item stuff with the equipment, and then I've got some guys that can do everything from mason repairs, tile repairs, electrical repairs, low voltage installs, everything
The
that
whole 9 yards, huh?
the whole nine. Yep.
I love it. So, what is it? How do you foresee kind of the company going? Is that kind of what you guys want to follow as sort of a model, or do you want to build your own eventually? What's kind of the goal?
Yeah. So right now we're not really interested in doing our own new construction. We've discovered that there's such a need for this sort of
Yeah.
interim in between trades
Mhm.
services throughout, all the way from dig to plaster. It seems like there's a real need in the industry. So I think we'll stay where we're at and slide into a niche.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to be, man. I foresee a lot of builders kind of needing that. Like you said, the in between trades, so the punch list items, the project management, the cleaning grades, the guys that can come in and repair things. I really think that's a good spot to be. And so, you said you work with a lot of builders. How do you guys go about kind of finding those clients?
So it's right now we've been doing this for 3 years now, and this whole time it's been completely organic. My wife Tori, she handles all of the sales, and she'll just go down the list. We try and focus on 4 stars plus reviews with the builders and everything like that to make sure that we're really seeking builders that care about their homeowners and care about the end product and care about their legacy. We really want to help out and raise those builders up on a pedestal to try and uh, shine a light on the guys that are doing it right.
Yeah, I think that in the pool industry, that's one of those things that there's so much negativity in regards to who's doing it right, who's not doing it right. And I think that we really do need to lift up some of those guys, not just in pool construction, but in business in general, that are doing
Absolutely.
things the right way and doing things the proper way and making sure that, projects are done the way that they need to be done.
Yes. Yep. There's a
So
lot of 2 year projects that look like 15-year projects, and poor homeowners that they don't know any better, and they put trust where they
it
pick, and
shouldn't.
sometimes they pick the wrong one, and I hate to see it, but it is becoming more and more prevalent. But we're getting a lot of really amazing builders come up as well. So it seems like as a whole, the industry is wanting to change and get back on track.
I would agree with that. I think that the more education we have within, the industry, the more we're going to see kind of builders continuing to rise up. Things with PHTA with the Genesis program or Watershape University, things like that. I think the more that we see those things, the more that those things are out there, the more people that are doing it, the more the industry is going to kind of, rise up per se, especially when you look at like what's required to get an electrical license or a plumbing license. Texas
Yes.
has no regulation on pool builders
Yeah.
at all.
It's a Wild West.
It is the Wild West. And, that can go both ways. I mean, you look at places like Florida and it's not a whole lot better and they have a whole lot of regulation there, but you always hear about builders, doing bad work there. So, I mean,
True.
we'll see if it makes a difference or not, but I definitely think that's the way the industry's kind of headed.
I think so. I think the days of just getting by as a fly by night are on their way out.
I think so. I think it's going to come down to who has, the complete package, who can market, who has the branding, who's, social media savvy, able to put teams together that do very well, who has the training to do it.
Correct.
And I think that's what it comes down to. So, what's kind of as far as working with new builders, what's that kind of look like for you guys? Are you guys actively pursuing new clientele, or are you guys busy as is?
So we just finished up a phase of meeting with several builders and entering into trade partnership with them. So we just finished that phase. So for the next 6 to 9 weeks, we're going to be really focusing on the quality of our responses, making sure that with this growth we stay um, focused on the things that are most important to us, which are communication and execution. Communication is massive, especially in this industry. It's very hard to get even a simple picture sometimes, just because everyone is so busy, hitting 3 or 4 jobs per day, crews, 10, 12 crews out. We're gonna
20
take this
phone
next few.
calls.
Yeah. So we're gonna take this next few weeks and make sure that we don't sacrifice anything like that.
No, I love that. That's fantastic to hear. Not a lot of guys do that. When they grow, they want to grow really, really fast and not do it strategically. And I think it's really important um, as a business owner that you're growing strategically. And it sounds like that's what you guys are doing.
That's what we're trying to do. Yes, sir.
So, do you guys own a lot of your own equipment, or have you guys rented it? How does that kind of work for you guys?
Yeah. So when we first started, we were renting everything. In the
Yeah,
early days, it was me and a truck. Um, thank God we've been able to amass a pretty good arsenal of trailers and flatbeds and stuff to do all the heavy lifting for us. We really focus on the mini skids in these backyards. Um,
yeah.
so we have one mini skid, and then we'll rent whenever we need to as well. But like I said, I'm really glad that we're not having to rent jackhammers and hammer drills and stuff like that anymore. That was one
That's a
thing
pain in the butt, man. To have to
that
go to Home
is.
Depot to get them and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, well,
I've done
really
that. I've
returning
rented
them at
core
7
drilling
o'clock
and
at night is
whatnot.
the worst part. Returning them at 7 p.m. is the worst part.
Yeah, I would agree with you. After you're tired after a long day,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not fun.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so we'll
So,
be we'll be looking to add probably a couple of mini excavators this year, just to help out with. We do get a lot of calls for oddball trenching services,
yeah,
um, but a couple mini skids and maybe one more mini X's and maybe one more mini skid this year.
very cool. How are you guys kind of financing that on the business side of things? Are you guys paying cash or are you financing? What's that look like?
Yeah, so we operate a lot on cash. I This is my first construction services company that we've started. So we've really been lucky to find a great credit union out of Denton that we've has just helped us so much. They're a
Yeah,
small town, really home feeling bank, and they let us collateralize the equipment we do have whenever we need to. So it's
that's
been really
awesome.
really great finding them.
Yeah, that's clutch when you have a business that is very asset heavy.
Yes,
And I feel like the construction industry is a very asset heavy industry. And you have to have those things. I mean, it's just
yes.
part of it. When I had my construction business, we had trucks, we had trailers, I had um, masonry vehicles, all the tools. So I understand that better than most of what it takes to amass, you know, a small arsenal of equipment, basically. So, but so hold on, just one sec. Looks like you disconnected. All right, are you back to us?
There, I got audio. There we go. There we go.
All right, cool. We're back. So, what's kind of your background? How did you get into this? What made you decide to start your own business?
Yeah, so right out of high school, I found myself in the oil fields of West Texas. I
Okay.
did oil and gas work for about 11 years. Um, by the time I was reaching the end of my oil and gas career, my oldest daughter was going to be starting kindergarten, and that was
Okay.
my cutoff. So once she started kindergarten, thank God I had some contacts in the Frisco area in pool construction. So I made a few phone calls and started as a shovel hand on a crew. And
That's a
luckily,
tough way to start.
yeah, it was a very tough way to start, but I asked for anything that they could help me out with, and thankfully they were able to see a path for me quickly. And I think 2 weeks I went to managing the warranty department.
That's awesome. And so when you were doing the warranty department, what type of work? Was it construction work or was it equipment or a
It was
combination thereof?
it was A to Z. Anything that could go
Okay.
wrong, you called Tyler.
So a lot.
A lot. Yep. Yep. All
A
the
lot. Especially,
subcontractor
I
warranty,
know
all
what
the
company you're talking about, and
warranty.
they do a lot of business. So I
Yeah.
can imagine what that looks like.
Yes. Yeah. I was a busy guy, but
I
it was
yeah,
probably the biggest blessing, being able to learn in a. Uh, I think being able to learn by remedying problems is the best way to learn. I was able to deconstruct things and see where stuff went wrong, and that has just helped me tremendously
oh,
throughout.
I can imagine. Well, you learn how things were done wrong in the first place, so you know how they got there. Now you know how to come back and fix it
Yes, sir. Yep.
and do it correctly. Yeah, that makes total sense.
That in
So what kind
combination
of
with some of the veterans in the pool industry was the best training I could have ever asked for.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. So what kind of led you to starting 918? What was kind of the catalyst to that?
The extreme need that I was seeing in just day to day operations, particularly in the situation I was in, seeing all of the in house resources just stretched thin for things that they
Yeah.
shouldn't even be on, and having seeing the invoices for minimum charges to get someone to go out there and put one tile back on, stuff like that. I just saw the need and figured we could probably fit right in somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy expensive what some of that stuff costs. I don't think a lot of people realize that anytime you send any sort of crew out to any job site, there's a minimum charge that gets
Yeah,
billed. Whether they're there 5 minutes or 5 hours, you're getting billed for 5 hours
and
minimum.
it's rare to see minimums under 1,000 anymore.
Yeah, which sucks.
Yeah,
That's like I kind of saw a post the other day on Facebook where somebody was offering you may have seen it $47,000 pool builds, and I'm like, man, there's no way with what things cost now. It's not
right.
even possible.
Yeah, it
Even if
would be
they did it,
nice. It
it
would
would be
be nice.
fantastic. Everybody would be busy
Yep.
if they could offer that, but realistically, it's just not possible. And then heaven forbid something goes wrong on that job site, they've lost all their money.
Yeah, that's the lean type of jobs that end up getting abandoned in most cases because there's just nothing in the budget
There's
to
no money
combat
there. Yeah,
anything that pops up. Yep.
yeah. I mean, you can't stay in business doing those types of jobs. You just can't.
Right. Right.
So, but I thought that was kind of interesting as we were talking. $1,000 minimums. I
Yeah.
was like, that's.
Yeah. It,
I had a group text with a couple buddies, and I was like, I'm willing to bet that doesn't include equipment. It doesn't include plaster.
yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
$47,000.
Maybe no water. Who knows? But that's
That's
pretty cheap.
exactly
That's a
right.
cheap pool. Yeah. Right.
So, when you guys decided you were going to start this company, how did your wife kind of take it? Was she on board, or how'd that look?
So yes, she was 100% on board.
That's
Before we
awesome.
went out on our own, I can't leave anything alone. I'm a wheeler dealer. I get it from my grandpa. I'm always trying to buy and sell, so it was really nothing new. Uh, to her, she was just glad that I was going to be able to focus a little more, I think.
I
But yeah,
like that.
she's been the biggest supporter. At times, my only supporter, but she never falters. So she's everything. I couldn't do it without her.
That's awesome. I wish my wife was a little more supportive of some of my ideas in the beginning. It usually takes her a little while to warm up to them. She's still my biggest supporter, but it usually takes her. It's got to be income producing before she's on board with it.
Understood. Yeah, understood.
Which I get, but
And I don't know
you know,
how much. maybe it does freak her out every time I have a new idea, but she does a really good job of just patting me on the
Going along
shoulder
with
and saying, "You can do it."
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know how that is for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, what does she do within the business?
So she is my entire back office, my accounts
Okay,
receivable, accounts payable, everything. I am lucky enough that I get to run around and make sure things are executed how they should and call customers and all of that.
yes, you don't have to worry about any of the back end office stuff, which
Correct.
is a huge piece of it, man. That is really nice. You get to worry about everything that goes on within the field, and then you know not have to deal with that quite as much.
Yes, sir.
Which is awesome.
She can even send. I mean, she can build and send quotes. It's amazing.
Yeah. So if we have somebody who's listening that's interested in you guys, um, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you? Number one, and then number two, what's those typical charges look like? I mean, we talked
Sure.
about $1,000 minimum. Do you guys have minimums and stuff like that as well?
We have a so we have a daily minimum for our builders, which
Okay.
means we don't have a job minimum. We just have a daily minimum. If we're going to um, if I'm going to roll a truck out, we have a $340 minimum for the day. But
That's awesome.
no, and then we have flat rates for everything else. So every builder gets their own price list, and then
Yeah.
6 months after we open a relationship with the builder, we'll revisit and see if we need to add, if they've been needing more of something, and we'll just kind of make sure everyone is happy together, and
That's cool.
the prices and the offerings are in line with what they need. So lots of flat rates. My site clean packages are flat rates, and it includes all of the topsoil, all of the hauling, up to a weight. It's really nice for the builders. They pretty much just send for site clean and wait for pictures.
That's awesome. That's super convenient.
We
As
try
somebody
and
who used
make
to
it,
be a builder, that's clutch.
yeah, we try and make it very menu based. That being said, we do let the builders know if we get one service order that's got us doing 10 tasks on it, you're not going to pay full menu pricing for every task. We work with
Yeah.
them, and we cut deals all the time to keep our builders happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it keeps you guys busy too at the same time.
Yes, yeah,
So
keeps
that
us
makes total
busy.
sense.
We just want to invoice honest work.
Yeah. I love that, man. So how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, my main the best way to get a hold of me right now is through our Facebook page at 918 Property Services LLC. We're going to be
And that's the
working.
number 9 and then spelled out 18, correct?
Yes, sir. That's the number 9, one word, 18 Property Services.
All right,
We're going to
cool.
be here in the next month or two. We're going to be working on designing and launching a web page, and I hope to have maybe some really cool, working on some menu click and go options for builders to be able to drag and drop pictures, select the services they want. It generates
Oh,
a
cool.
service order for them to approve and sends it directly to us. So
Oh, that's
lots of
really cool.
exciting stuff and in that corner coming for us for the first time this year.
Well, cool, man. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Tyler. We'll talk soon, man, and I hope you guys have the best of luck and enjoy this busy pool season that's about to get started.
Thanks, Chris. Congratulations on your podcast, and I wish you the best.
Appreciate it, man. You as well.
Thank you.